Hello and welcome to the Burgh Hall. We're here today with Jules just to talk about, what are we here to talk about, Jules?
Art on My Sleeves, Volume 2.
Yes, because we're talking about Volume 2 because you had an exhibition here previously, didn't you? And but you've got such a vast record collection that you've got another one, and probably be more to follow, I'm sure, in the future. But for this session, the opening hours are Wednesday to Sunday, 10 to 4 p.m.
That's right.
And so you can tell us a little bit about why we're here today.
Okay, thanks, Jan. Yeah, I'm Jules, and I'm here to talk about my exhibition at Dunoon Burgh Hall. It's kind of a sequel to Art on My Sleeves of 2019, 2 years back. Once again, it's an exhibition of album covers, mostly different ones to last time, and I've arranged them in sections and various categories.
Which you have very kindly, they're dotted around the gallery, these for information on every single piece. You have done so much work towards this, Jules. So I'm looking through it and there's lots of information and it's all categorised. And you're saying it's in categories, so we'll maybe have a chat about some of the categories that you've got in the exhibition this time.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm exploring this time various different sort of areas of album design. So there's two on predominantly on photography, one on illustration, another one on graphic design. Behind us you'll see one that centres on the use of art on album covers, be it pre-existing art, contemporary art of the time, and one or two of sort of pastiches of well-known art and artists.
For example, behind us here, I'm going to choose one.
Choose one.
Alan Hull, who was the artist
Hull.
on this one, and now that's the top.
Yeah,
third along.
I'm glad you didn't choose the very top one.
I didn't.
Crane my neck that far, but the Alan Hull one uses a painting by Magritte. I couldn't tell you what the painting's called because it's in French.
Ah, right, okay.
But that's an obvious use. There's another Magritte there. The reason for it being on that particular album cover, a Jeff Beck album, I have no idea, but at least it looks nice.
Yeah, it does. I mean, some of them are absolutely stunning, and the fact that album covers that were so unusual sold records, and they knew this. So there's such an institution behind album covers, and for obvious reason, the exhibition is really successful, and people have huge collections of their own. I'm sure not as large as your collection. We've already asked you that, and you're not sure how many you have.
No, I don't know. Around 1,000, perhaps.
Because in this selection here, you've got about 300. You said there are 300. So if you look about, you'd think that there's not 300, but there is definitely 300, and you've got them, as you see, in sections, and they are self-explanatory in a lot of ways, aren't they? They're just aesthetically pleasing looking at them.
Well, they're nice to look at. As I say, they're arranged into various categories, and in each one exploring a particular aspect of record design. We have over there, for example, a selection of jazz album covers, because it seemed to me there's a certain style, a certain look that defines a jazz album, and certainly I'd say particular use of contemporary art of the time, so say 1950s, that seemed, I suppose, appropriate, because modern art, contemporary art in the 1950s was quite challenging, quite jarring to some, as was modern jazz to many listeners. And that's followed by, there's a section on the artwork designs of Reed Miles. He designed for Blue Note Records from the mid-50s for about 11 years and was behind about in the region of 500 of their albums, and he developed a certain style or certain range of styles that pretty much became synonymous with jazz, and his stylings, I think, influenced a lot of subsequent album cover designers.
A lot of your collection is, it's very personal to you, but I'm trying to think, what was the first record you bought? And was it because of the cover or because of the artist that
I can't actually remember the first album I bought. I remember the first one I owned, and that was the Beatles double white album, the one that became known as just called the Beatles, but it became known as the White Album.
You had that in your previous exhibition, didn't you?
I did, yes. And that, I think that was bought for me by my parents. I probably pestered them endlessly and given to me on my birthday. Trying to remember how old I think I must have been about 14.
You've got a vast knowledge of not only who has created these album covers, but also the artists themselves. You, obviously, through your whole life, you've got this almost catalogue of knowing everything. So I'm saying to you, one of the things that you've offered is that you'll be along some Saturdays. I think it's every Saturday you'll be in the exhibition.
Yeah, that's right.
You're asking if people will bring along their own albums.
Yeah, hoping to have stage a sort of show and tell event. So I'm asking anyone to come in, bring in their favourite album cover with them. Don't have to bring the record, just the album cover, and we can have a wee chat about what they like about it. I could even do some research and find out if there's any story behind it. So I found in researching background information for the exhibition that the majority of the time there's really quite an interesting story behind the design of the album cover. And you'll find in the sleeve of the exhibition guide, sleeve notes, you've got loads.
There's a lot.
A lot of ridiculously detailed information.
It's great for reference.
Fascinates me. It may not fascinate you.
Well, there's new things you'll find out, isn't there, about some album covers that you just bought because you liked, and you'll be able to find out some of the artists' names and the reason and why and the story behind it. Because there's a couple of things. There's one there I was reading about the White Stripes, the chair.
Oh yes, the White Stripes album cover there, which is behind us. It's called Die Stil, which was a Dutch design movement. You've caught me on the hunt. I'm trying to featuring artists such as Piet Mondrian, and they were very influenced. The Jack and Meg White were very influenced by the design movement and decided to incorporate an image befitting onto the album design.
It kind of followed through. When I went to see them in concert, everybody had red and black and white on, and it was just wonderful. Don't really wear heels, and I had these boots that I never ever wore again to that concert. That's what I remember about it, but also it being an excellent concert. So yeah, it's very influential because you will get, that was their image, and it was really important to have that image and to portray it on an album that would be that they would agree with. I'm sure there would be.
As far as I can remember, all of their album covers are predominantly black, red, and white.
They are.
They don't veer much from that.
No.
That aesthetic.
So there's plenty of variation, and you can take quite a few visits. I would say it's maybe going to take more than one visit for you to be able to see everything that you've put today. You've put a lot of work into this.
To actually take in every single album cover, read up on its history, you'd have to live here for a week.
I think so. And
I'm sure the Burgh Hall would be happy to put people up, charge them a minimal rent agreement.
It's useful.
Could happen.
And the cafe's there as well.
Absolutely,
and you can have a nice, and that's
well, I've been living here for about a week or so.
You have. You've been busy here. creating this exhibition. And as I say, it is on until the 12th of September, so it'll be here so you've got a great chance to be able to see it, and I highly recommend you come along and see it very soon, and bring all your friends and bring your album covers. And they're your friends as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're very attached to some of these, because I did ask you if inside the album were the records, but you have said no.
No.
That's unfortunate. No. So, that's fine. Just to, just for a frame of reference, really. But and you'll be able to, even if you're not here, the information here is wonderful.
That's right.
So it's quite good, and probably you'll have your own albums, and you'll say, oh, I have that one, or I have that one, or I need to get that one.
And I have, for anyone who wants any further information, they will find at the beginning of the exhibition guide sleeve notes my personal email address. I'm happy to correspond with anyone who wants to know any more, or indeed I can provide digital copy of the exhibition guide,
which I have. So I am a witness to that.
Yeah,
it is 100 pages written down, so and you're happy to send that forward for anybody who would like it. So please come along, and again, thank you again for coming along today to discuss your current exhibition. And I'm sure that you've enjoyed this whole process of actually collecting the albums and categorising them, and doing what you do best, Jules. Just enjoying it.
It's a labour of love.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and that's the main thing. And thank you.
Thank you.